Welcome to Consistent Content, the no excuses content creation method for thought leaders. I'm Aidan Crawford and I am the owner and president of Short Circuit Media. So who am I? Well, I work with professional speakers, trainers, and consultants to help them align their marketing with business goals. I've been doing this for over 10 years and I've noticed people doing the same mistakes over and over again with their marketing. What I do is I come in and I take the time to understand the business, create a custom marketing strategy, execute on that strategy, and then provide ongoing support. In this specific course, I'm going to be discussing content, how to create it, and how to distribute it effectively so that it attracts your ideal clients. Now, it all does start with your ideal clients. And I'm going to start by making a big statement. Everyone is not an acceptable answer to the question, who is your ideal client? My kids are not your ideal client. My mom is not my ideal client. They may be interested in your topic, but they're not going to pay you anything. So who are you writing for? You write for the people that are going to be propelling your business forward. Now, obviously, you're going to be writing for the decision makers, the influencers, and anyone who might be a potential client. So that takes you away from writing. When you define who those people are, it will actually help you decide on what kind of content you're going to create. Now, this is important because when you learn to create the content for these people, you kind of get into the mindset that you're not writing for your own interests specifically and what you find fascinating. You are going to be thinking about your content from the perspective of your ideal client. So if my ideal client is a business consultant, a business management consultant, my job is not to write interesting things or write blogs that are for me. I want to write educational pieces that will help those business management consultants do their job better. So I want to address an issue they have and help them solve it with the intention that at some point they're going to come back to me and say, oh, you know what, this is something that Aidan Crawford or Short Circuit Media should be doing. So your content, why do you need to have content? Well, you want to make your site trusted. And if you blog regularly, it really helps you distinguish yourself from all the other brochureware type sites that are out there. Now, a lot of consultants will go out and they will put together a website and they use the whole the methodology of that old Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. But I'll tell you, that's not the way it works. You can build a great website, but if it's just brochureware and it doesn't do anything or tell people or help people, it's not going to get noticed by search engines, and it's certainly not going to get noticed by prospects. Because I will tell you right now, there are always more interesting sites to be on than your site or my site. It's just the nature of the business. So the reason that you need to create content on a consistent basis, well, first of all, blog content is good for your SEO. If you're struggling to find clients, you really want to be able to create content regularly so that those clients, so that you're indexed by Google and Bing and Yahoo. So when somebody is searching for you, your site comes up. Now, if you do not have a blog and it's a new website, or even an old website that doesn't have a blog, you're going to find that you're not going to have the authority to rank very highly. Now, blogs also create credibility within your target market. Now, so writing a blog on a regular basis will get people to know that you are a thought leader and an expert because you're always demonstrating that by the content you create. Now, I also encourage people to create content for another reason, and that is that I use it as the basis for monthly newsletters. So for my clients, what I do is we write a blog a week, and then at the end of a month, that blog is then compiled into a newsletter and sent to a list of people that have signed up to receive their newsletter. And then again, I've written a book called DIY Marketing for consultants, consultants, trainers, and professional speakers, the non-guru guide to getting it right. And that entire book was built on blogs I had written over the last 5 or 6 years. So again, your blog is a lot more important than just SEO. You can use it as the cornerstone for not only new content, but also new products. Now your content. Now your website is often the first introduction that many of your prospects are ever going to have to your business. So if you don't update the site, they're going to wonder if you're still in business. How many times have you gone to a website and you've seen the footer and it says copyright 2013 or 2012? They just haven't updated this website. They spent a lot of money to get it built, 5, 6, 7, even 10 years ago, and they've done absolutely nothing with it. So if there's no blog on your website that show people that you're still in business and there's still activity, it's a really good indicator that maybe you're not in business anymore. Is it worthwhile reaching out and trying to establish that contact? So where do you get that content? Now, there's two ways to do it. There's a hard way and the easy way. Now the hard way, and this is where a lot of thought leaders and consultants and trainers and speakers fall into, where they open up a Word document or a Google Docs document and it's blank, and then they have to go, I've committed to writing 2 blogs a week and I've just got to get something up there. So they end up writing, if they write, they got to find the inspiration, and the beads of sweat are dropping onto their computer as they're typing, because they're not exactly sure what they're going to be writing about. So they're creating everything from scratch. It's a lot of pressure, and then in the end the quality isn't there because there isn't really a plan behind the content and there's no strategy behind the content. Now the easy way, and this is the way that I want to encourage you to do it, as far as creating a content machine that's going to convert, is to add to the discussion. If you've already got some books, blogify those books, and then transcribe your presentations and use those for blogs. Now, when I'm going to talk about the adding to the discussion in a minute, that is probably for people that don't have books and haven't got a lot of presentations to transcribe. I am going to talk about how the actual process of doing that. But cannibalizing your books is a great strategy for people that have books, because I'll tell you, it doesn't matter how many copies of your book have sold, 99.99999% of the population will never read your book. So that is new content to them. If the book has been out for 6, 12 months, a year, 2 years, and you've still got the soft copy, you can start taking chunks out of that book and giving them light rewrites. So you take out a good point from your book, you give that page or those couple of paragraphs a nice little rewrite, you do an introduction and a conclusion on it, and you've got a brand new blog post that is in line with the themes that you already know about. So that is a great way to get your books and reuse that content as blog content. Now, transcribing your presentations is another way that I have worked with some clients, and it will work for you. I found that if you give a 45 to 50 minute presentation, you can probably get 6 or 7 blogs out of it. Even if your presentations are written down and you do limited improvisation on the stage, you will find that you do add thoughts as you're talking. And having those presentations transcribed allows you to rewrite them, and again, make the case for your content to potential clients. Now, what are the tools that you're going to use to get your content out there? Now, I'm going to talk about Google Alerts and Hootsuite, and how these two tools will help amplify your content after you've written it. So I found that the successful formula for a blog, and I did this for a number of years for an attorney in Chicago, was to compile a list of topics that the ideal, I've got idea here, but the ideal prospects would be interested in. Once I have that list of topics, I set Google Alerts for each topic. So then I would create, why don't we stop? Why don't I go through the Google Alerts, and then we'll come back and we'll finish from there. So we're going to talk about Google Alerts for a second. I'm just going to show you how you actually set that up. So as you're going to see right now, we are in Google Alerts. So simply, to get to Google Alerts, you go to google.com/alerts. Obviously, if you're somewhere else in the world, it would be google.ca or google.co.uk, but if you do the /alerts, you will end up in the same place. Now, the purpose of Google Alerts is obviously to bring you content that you can build upon to create your new content and help you blog things a lot easier and really kind of help you propel your process forward so that you can create content consistently and also establish some SEO by linking back to authoritative sources. So the purpose of Google Alerts is, first of all, to get that content. Now, what I need you to do is think about where your ideal clients, or what your ideal clients are actually interested in reading about or learning about. So I'm just going to pull something out of my head. I'm going to say, let's say you're a consultant. Let's say you're a leadership consultant. Let's go with business leadership. So we've got business leadership. So what Google will do, it will then show you a preview of the type of alerts, the type of content you're going to get. So just by putting in the business leadership, these are the type of articles that are going to be sent to me on a daily basis. Now, if you look at it, develop your resilience with these 12 leadership strategies, that might be a great article where you'd be able to quote some of the strategies and then add to them, and in that way create some new articles. So let's keep this business leadership. So let's update that alert. So we are going to go with business leadership. Now, you don't just stop there. So you go to this little pencil. So we're going to edit this a bit. And this gives us our options. So how often do you want to receive these notifications? Do you want to get them once a day? You can get them once a week, or you can get them in real time, and that's really powerful. You can also do where you want the sources. Do you want them to come from blogs or news sources? Maybe you want to repost some videos and comment on the videos on your blog and on your content. This is a great place to determine where you're going to get that content from. And the more, if you just do automatic, you're still going to get all this content that you can then pull from, refer to, and really can help you get the juices flowing when it comes to creating new content for your purposes. So again, you can set your region. Do you want it to come from any region? Maybe you just want it to come from the US. Maybe you want it to come from Canada, the UK, or somewhere else in Europe. Anywhere in the world. You can generate where you want your Google Alerts to be pulled from. And then again, you can get all the results, or you can get the best results, and that's fine. And then of course your email address. So that is the overview of how you can use Google Alerts. And as you can see, it's a really powerful way to make sure that you're going to have new content in that will inspire you to keep creating on a consistent basis. So now that you've been able to set up a Google Alert for each of the topics, you have to create an article around some of those alerts. So what I encourage people to do is blog twice a week. Now, I'm the first person to say, it's easy to tell people to blog twice a week, but I'll tell you, it's a lot harder if you're trying to think of things on the fly and fresh all the time. If Google Alerts is sending you fresh content that is actually already out there and people are discussing, you're actually leveraging on that popularity of that content. So the formula that I would encourage you to use is to do an introduction, introducing the quote, pull a quote from the original article. So pull a heavy quote. Now, if it's an article that quotes a thought leader, or you can pull that quote, put it in your article, link back to the original article, because Google actually appreciates links that go to outbound posts. So if you don't want to be plagiarizing either. So give full acknowledgement to where you got to the source content that you're using, full acknowledgement, link back to it, and then add your 2 cents. What do you think about that quote? How does it apply to your clients? How will this make their business better? And really use that original content as the cornerstone and the building block for creating your own. And you'll find when we were doing this for the attorney, we were doing 2 of these articles a week, and it was very, very simple to do. After a while, you'll find that you're able to write blog posts. It's only going to take you 15-20 minutes. You write the blog post, and based on these articles, and you're getting that content out there. Now, a secondary benefit is, as a thought leader, because you're reading these articles, you're actually becoming better at your job. You're expanding your knowledge by reading other people. So it's forcing you to create content, but it's also forcing you to expand your knowledge. Now, what happens once you've written this post? Now, once you've written a post, there are a couple of things that you'll want to do. Now, the days of free social media exposure are, well, it says they're coming to a close, but I'm going to tell you they're over. If you want people to see your content, you're going to have to pay for it. So on Twitter and Facebook, Facebook has an algorithm that recently changed, and what it does is it makes it harder for business content to get seen organically. So today you need to boost your posts if you want to reach your prospects. Now, if I'm writing a blog post and I'm going to spend a couple of hours writing a good blog post and researching it and getting it out there, $5 or $10 to get it promoted to my ideal clients on Facebook every week, that's not a big expense. Especially if I'm going to have that article exposed to potentially thousands of people. So don't be afraid to pay the $5 to boost your post to your ideal audience. And you can go through Facebook and you can define who you want to see your boosted post. It's well worth it. Another thing is to create a tweet sheet, and then you use that tweet sheet to promote that article on Hootsuite a number of times throughout the course of a week. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you how I'm going to promote one of my articles. So let's get to it. Okay, so we've written our blog. So I've gone back to my website and I have chosen a blog that I wrote a while back called Your Business Blog is Not Your Diary. And again, this goes with a lot of what I've talked about already about making your content interesting to the people that are your ideal clients, and not basically talking, just making stuff up about your own life. People do not care about you. It's what you can do for them. So I wrote this blog a while back, and you can see that I've got a little promotion in the middle of it for my DIY Marketing for Consultants and Trainers course. That's there. So I've got this blog. I'm proud of the blog. It's been shared a number of times on Facebook. Quite happy for that to happen. And what I'm going to do now is show you how do you promote your blog once you've written it. Now, what I do is I create a tweet sheet. Now, a tweet sheet is, and I've already created one here for us to look at, where I schedule a date and time where the blog is going to go out. Now, what I usually do is I pick out 5 days or 7 days, and I do it twice a day, once in the early part of the day and once the later part of the day. Then I write a tweet or a status update that I'm planning to share to LinkedIn, Twitter, and my Facebook business page. Again, I do not share my content, my business content, with my personal Facebook page. It's not the channel I use. My mom does not care. The friends that I went to college with do not care that what I do. They want to see pictures of my kids and me posting rock and roll things. That's what they want. It would shock them if I started putting professional stuff on my Facebook personal page. So I've got the updates right here and you can see I'm using hashtags so that the updates are picked up by people that are searching for content and information on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And then I've got the URL for the actual blog post right there. So the next step, once you've written this, and again, twice a day, early in the day, later in the day, try and stretch it so it goes across a couple different time zones, so that if you're posting something, remember, California, 9 a.m. in California is noon here, but again, it's 6 p.m. in noon is 6 p.m. in the UK and in London. So just try and mix it up. So if your ideal clients are actually in a time zone, or you want to reach beyond your time zone, that be aware of those different time zones and schedule accordingly, because you do have different opportunities. The trick is when you publish a post, you want to get it seen, and you want to get it seen while it's fresh. So when you have a new blog post, what you really want to make sure you do is have this tweet sheet ready. So just write it up, and you just kind of write up your little. You can take quotes from your blog, and put it in here. Spice them up, make them interesting. I've got leave recipes to chefs and share kitten videos on Facebook like everybody else. Things that'll make people look at it and stand out and make it read. Now, so let's go to Hootsuite. So we go to Hootsuite, that's the tool I use. And this is how we're going to distribute these updates. So you go to your publisher on Hootsuite, and then you click on content. Then you go to bulk composer. Now I had created that tweet sheet on Google Docs. That works better than Microsoft Excel. So use Google Docs to create your tweet sheet. So what we're going to do is it'll bring it up and we're going to select the file. I've already downloaded the file. And I just got to find it, which I believe it's probably at the bottom here. Where's my... oh, there it is. Okay. Open. And then I'm going to select the social networks that it's going to go to. So we're going to go to my Twitter account, my LinkedIn account, my LinkedIn business page account. And then when I scroll all the way down here, I've got a Short Circuit Media Facebook business page. So you go to review your messages, so it's going to upload the file. And you can see that there's some errors here, that's too long, so I can click on this. It looks like it's 1 character too long for Twitter, so I'm just going to delete a hashtag. I'm going to just take this one out. And again, I'm just 2 characters too long for Twitter here. Take another one out. And then here, again, 3 letters. So I'm just going to take another hashtag out. So basically, it's all in the same place. So I've chosen where it's all going to be distributed. You can see Hootsuite's picking up the image from the blog post. I hit the schedule button. I'm not going to do that because I've already scheduled these to go out. But I hit the schedule button, and Hootsuite does the rest of the work. It distributes my blog to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook automatically over the course of 5 days, twice a week. Great. So now we know how to promote your article on Hootsuite. You now know how to write your article, research where your content is going to come from. You know who your ideal clients are. You know how to write your content. Now you know how to distribute it effectively so that it actually gets read and brings people back to your website. Now, if you're a professional and you want to get noticed by other professionals, you're going to have to hire you want to focus your attention on LinkedIn. Now, we've done this on our previous by using Now we've done this previously by using the tweet sheet. So the articles are getting pumped out to LinkedIn over and over again. Keep an eye on your LinkedIn and make sure that if somebody likes or comments on it, track them, thank them, make sure that you engage with them, because that's the important part. You're creating the content, but you can't let your content just wither and die by sending it out and leaving it there. Now remember, 50% of B2B buyers are using LinkedIn when they make their purchasing decisions. These are all stats that I've pulled from LinkedIn itself. 94% of B2B marketers use LinkedIn to distribute content. You need to be, if you're not doing it already, you need to do it. And if you are doing it already, you need to do it better. And I think the tweet sheet is a great way to get your content out there. There's another tool called Revive Old Posts that you can get from revive.social, which again will recirculate your older tweets or your older blogs back into social media on a constant basis. This is where the content marketing comes in and it makes it stronger. So remember that you can also use your articles to republish on LinkedIn. They do have a publisher platform. It used to get an awful lot of traffic, but LinkedIn changed something, and now it was very easy at one point to post an article on LinkedIn's publisher platform, and what would happen is everybody in your network would get a notification that you just published a new article, and they would all flood over. It was easy to get 10, 15,000 people seeing an article. Now, you publish an article and you get crickets. You might get, I can tell you, I get, if I get 50 or 60 people seeing an article I post on LinkedIn's publisher platform, I'm pretty happy about it. But it really is one of those things. I'm sure LinkedIn is going to move to a pay-per-play system as well, where you'll publish on the platform and you'll have to pay to get everybody to see it, because that's the way business is moving. So thank you very much for this DIY course on content creation. I hope you learned quite a bit from it. I believe that if you use these tools and these strategies, you will not only be able to create more content faster, but you'll be able to get it distributed to your ideal clients more effectively. Now, as a thank you for getting through this course, I'm going to give you 25% off the full DIY Marketing for Consultants, Trainers, and Professional Speakers online course. Just use the coupon code DIY Content when you get to the shopping cart, and the URL is courses.shortcircuitmedia.com. You can also go to shortcircuitmedia.com and book a complimentary 15-minute marketing consultation. You can do it online. It interacts with my Google Calendar. It'll tell you when I'm available. Book some time and we can talk about your marketing specifically. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact me at aiden@shortcircuitmedia.com, and hopefully I'll see you soon at the DIY Marketing for Consultants, Trainers, and Professional Speakers online course.